This is World Class BeerCast.
Rain is part of the life in Portland, Oregon, and so is craft beer. Oregon is the second largest producer of craft beer in the U.S. Finding farmhouse-inspired beers are not as easy to find in Portland or anywhere.
Farmhouse Ales came from Europe, basically in France, and then over to Belgium. Consumers wanted something that was light and full of character but not overpowering, so it was brewed for the theory that when the farm harvest was coming in and they were working on a farm, they wanted to have a quaffable beer that was easy to drink but had some character to it. So Farmhouse Ales took off in Europe and then died down again about 30 or 40 years ago. But today, as we'll find out, is lots of little breweries today are making some great farmhouse ale, session ales, and this just happens to be one of them.
There is one place you won't find a hint on the building. Instead, look for a sidewalk sign that leads you to a quiet lobby. Take the elevator to the basement, and when the doors open, you know you have found it. Upright beer is brewed here.
We'll fill this up a little while.
Okay, sounds good.
Sold here,
I'll have a glass of this.
and enjoyed here.
They use all French and Belgian yeast, so it has a good, nice, light, crisp taste.
Among other things, Upright uses special Saison yeast, and Brewer Alex Ganum does something most brewers don't do. He uses open fermentation, an age-old process that adds unique flavors to his beers.
The unit tank, and it kind of confirms all the stuff that we've read too, which is kind of cool, that usually with like the more shallow wide tank and the open top, they say that you get a more estery profile, and we've definitely noticed that. So with our yeast, it'll end up being a little bit more floral and flowery, and then in the unit tank we end up with a lot less of those flavors and more like the spicy phenolic flavors. And it's pretty distinct, the difference, so it's kind of cool.
Upright labels its year-round beers 4 through 7. 4 uses a lot of wheat and some sour mash for a slightly tart finish. 5 is a farmhouse pale ale with a hearty blend of hops. 6 is a dark rye beer that works well with meat and hard cheeses. And 7 gets its character from Saison yeast, combined with hops that give this beer a light spice flavor. You'll find Anna Lou Vincent at Upright on Saturdays.
I drove from Indiana, and I really love your beers. I mean, you're going to sell us a beer in Indiana?
Maybe.
Yeah, the thing I really liked I thought the label was clean and crisp. When I get a beer geek that tells me in a store, this beer you got to try it, and I get talking about beer, people understand that. It's the session ale and the wheat. Clean, crisp, really well balanced. Are those your two flagship brands, I assume, or styles?
Yes, and definitely dry, earthy, and what contributes to that is the open fermentation. Being pretty much the only brewery in Portland that's doing that is pretty cool.
Upright's beers are truly one of a kind, and so is the atmosphere. When was the last time you listened to music on vinyl?
Enjoy your trip.
I will. I got to drink beer doing it. Well, looks like we're walking out of the Upright Brewery with a case of great beers. Looks like 2 bottles of 2 or 4, 2 bottles of 5, 4 bottles of 6, 2 bottles of late harvest, and the rest is in 7.
Okay, great.
See you later.
I'm Jim Schembre for World Class BeerCast.